All right, we are ready to do the first training painting, and this is what we're going to do, a Hawaiian sunset. It's going to teach all those different techniques that I just talked about in the pre-watercolor lesson. All right, so the first thing you need to do is get your watercolor paper and get a ruler and draw a line around the edges. That will help your paper to lay flat a little better. And watercolor paper is usually kind of thick and nice, but you know, you'll find your favorite type, but you can pretty much just get, while you're learning and doing training paintings, just get a inexpensive pad of watercolor paper, and you can upgrade to other things as you move along, but make sure it's watercolor paper. All right, and Hannah is going to paint right along with me. She's one of my college students, and she's an excellent watercolor painter, and she's taken the training painting lessons before too. All right, so after you do that, you want a horizon line, as you see right here. So get your ruler and draw the horizon line. And then you need to draw one more thing. So even if you're not good at drawing, you can do this and be successful. All right, so draw a semicircle right here that represents the sun in this tropical painting. There again, don't be looking for a jar. All right, just freehand it. You don't want it to look real mechanical, like a machine made it or something. All right, I am ready to start painting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my 1-inch flat brush. I'm going to wet it, and I'm going to prime my sky. And this is always so much fun. I love to do skies. And try to keep water off the border where you drew that boundary. It just helps your paper lay flatter. Alright, moving on down. Now I'm just putting the first layer on right now. And you know it's not fully primed unless you put 2 layers. And it is a hot day, so it dries quickly. And generally, even though I have my ceiling fan on right now, just because it's so hot, and I'm trying to keep the noise level down. Ordinarily, I would never paint something serious under a ceiling fan because it would make the paper dry quicker, and I might not be able to get all my colors on there I want while the paper's still wet. All right, I've got 1 layer, so I'm going back and putting my 2nd layer. Now this is where beginners go wrong sometimes. They're kind of stingy on the water. It doesn't cost that much. So get that water on there. 2 layers. The first layer sinks into the paper. And the 2nd layer floats on the surface. And I'm doing wet on wet. I'm doing a wash. These are very good watercolor terms that you need to know. All right, now look how shiny. I don't know if you can see that, but mine is really shiny, which is a good thing. But now scan your eyes across the surface. If you see any little dry, non-shiny, geometric little shapes, put some water on them. All right, I'm ready to start at the top of my sky, and I'm going to use blue. All right, I'm going right to blue. All right, notice how it's going to explode with color when I lay it on. See how it's swelling out? All right. Bring your paintbrush back and forth. Don't scrub. Be real gentle and bring that down. Look, I've already got some clouds. But I'm going to go back and darken the corners a little bit more because that helps frame the work, brings the eye into the picture. Alright, already I'm getting this wonderful sky look. Alright, now no stripes. Put that ruler down. We want to keep it irregular. Alright, see I'm going up and down. Alright, I'm going to switch to red now. Wash out my brush. I actually could just keep the blue in there if I wanted to, but try to get a little bit of red going instead of so much purple. Alright, put some red. Bump it into the blue a little bit. No stripes. See how I'm avoiding the stripes? Maybe pat on a little bit more right here. Yes, I'm getting a tropical look. Alright, now I'm ready to add my last color to the sky, orange. Alright, so I'm going to wash that out. Notice how I scrape it on the side a little bit. Don't dry your brush though. Go right to the orange. That's why they call this watercolor. We use water. Alright, see how I'm bumping that up a little bit into the red? Alright, now be careful as you go around the sun. Also, but if you kept that sun dry, you shouldn't have any problem. It shouldn't dart into it. Alright. Okay, now, when you get that done, wash out your brush and dry it. So you can either put a blow dryer on it. I've just got this little hand fan right here to dry it. You don't want to do the next step until this is dry. So you can go do the dishes, make that bed, or jump on another piece of paper and do another sky. But let that dry. And it shouldn't take it long. Alright. Now I'm not going to sit here and wait till it dries. So I was prepared with another one right here. So I'm going to switch over to this bone dry one. But that one's wet, so I'll sit it over there. Alright, Hannah's sky's looking marvelous over there. Very good, Hannah. Alright. So now I'm going to do the ocean. Alright, so now watch carefully. Let's look at this ocean. Do you see the little white caps in it? Now, of course, it's going to have the sun back there and it's going to reflect that. But we just want to focus on the water with the roughness and movement in the water without the sunset right now. We'll add that later. Alright, but here's the way you do the sky. Alright, make sure your brush is clean. Alright, I'm going to scrape that off and I'm going to get blue. And I'm using my flat brush. Now go way back here. Now this is dry, bone dry. Go back here as far as the eye can see. And paint my first row. Alright, it's pretty straight. But now that second row, deliberately make little horizontal, flat, white shapes. And then every once in a while get a little bit more paint on your brush when it starts to dry out, because you do want different values of blue. Alright, see, it's starting to look like it's way back there. Pushing it back into the distance. Just because I'm going left and right. Touch. Dip down and bring it back up and touch. Don't want any large white caps. I'm going to get a little bit more blue. Keep it going. Make sure you touch your pencil lines on the side. Alright. About a third of the way down. Alright, I'm starting to get a sort of a light value now, so I'm going to go back to my blue. I hope you can see that blue. I'll move it over here. Go back and add. Yeah. Got to have different values. You know what a value is from my last YouTube lesson. It's light, medium, dark, so the same color. Just keep working. Keep little flat shapes. Better to have them too little than too big. Add some more value. Don't go diagonal. No strokes like this. None up and down or scrabbling around left and right. Alright, see? It's starting to show distance. Going way back into the picture. Putting that sun way back there in the distance. I'm going to get every time your paintbrush gets dry, don't wash out the brush. Just re-dip it. Let it soak up a little bit more water. Alright, I'm going to go a little bit faster now. Okay. And I'm holding mine up so the camera can see it a little bit better. But you can either paint with your paper flat on the table, or you can elevate the top edge a little bit. Alright. We need a little bit more value. Now, I'm through with that step. So after you do that step, then it's time to do the sun. But make sure that the sky is dry, which you know mine is. I've got to make sure the water is dry. No, mine's still a little bit wet. Alright, so I'm just going to dry it right here. That blue's just a little bit wet. And also, I want to dry it right here because I'm getting ready to add the yellows and oranges and reds that you see in the sky. Because water reflects the colors that are above it in the sky. Alright, it's just probably a few more seconds. It'll be dry enough. Alright, it's good. And you might want to use that on yours. I'll just sit that right there. Well, it may feel good blowing in your face. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is prime my sun. Now be careful. This has got to be dry. This has got to be dry. Clear water right up here in the sun. 2 layers because we've got to prime it. Alright, that's 1 layer. Alright, I'm going to get another layer. Alright, I'm looking at it from the side to make sure it's shiny. It is. Alright, I'm going to get yellow. Cover the whole thing with yellow. Alright, then get a little bit of orange. Pat on some orange. Speck of red. And just let it swirl around. Now don't keep painting it until it becomes one flat color. Remember we talked about flat colors? We want this. Look at that explosiveness of the heat of the sun. Alright, I've already got some red on my brush, so I'm going to put some reflections right down here below. Now notice as I'm coming forward, I'm hitting some of those white shapes. And also you can hit some of the blue ones too, but I know it's going to be a little more intense. Alright, I'm going to jump to some yellows. And I probably need a little bit more yellows. Okay, I am ready to paint my palm tree now. Alright, this is dry, my ocean's dry. It's still wet right here, but I'm not going to touch that sun. This is a little bit wet, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to wash out my brush, and I've got to do my landmass now. Alright, look at this landmass tree. I'm going to show you how to paint a palm tree. After I show you this, how to paint this palm tree, you will forever be painting palm trees for the rest of your life. They're so much fun. Alright, I've got my number 10 round brush. I'm going right to my black. Black is right down on the end. I want a little hill here. So I'm going to start right here and kind of go downhill. Alright. A little more water to spread it out. Now, when watercolor paint dries, sometimes it'll get a little lighter than you want it to, and you might have to put a second coat. That's not the case too much except for black. Alright, see how I've got a land mass that goes down? Alright, now here's the part that scares people. You want a palm tree coming up, but you don't want it to come up on this side. You want it to come to the center of your paper. So, right here, I'm just going to make a straight line that gently comes to the center of the paper. Don't make a big swooping curve. Alright, now darken that. And make it a little wider at the bottom. Alright, so next thing you're going to do is make at least 5 branches. Wet the tip, get some black. Notice I didn't wash my brush out because I'm still using black paint. Why waste it? Alright, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so make 5 curved marks. Now you're going to make some comma shapes. A comma would be like this. Like in a sentence, a comma. Alright, so I'm going to start in the middle and use the point of your brush and bring it all the way out. I'm going to make sure I don't touch the sun because I know it's still wet. I don't want any black swooshing into my sun. Alright, next one. On this limb, start in the center. Alright, next. Now look, they're touching. That's completely alright. It's nature. They do that. Backward commas on this side. You'll get really good at these strokes. Practice them on another sheet of paper if you're not sure. And don't be so hard on yourself. Have fun. This is lesson 1. Alright. After you do that, if you feel like you need one more branch, add another branch. I think mine's fine with 5, but just do it the way you'd like for it to be. Alright, now I need to add the details. Do you see what I'm talking about when I say details? Some sea oats, some grasses, and some birds. Alright, so I'm going to start down here with the sea oats. I noticed when I said birds, the birds started cutting up outside. Alright. Wet the tip. Get some more black. I'm going to do some sea oats now. Oh, and make sure your brush strokes crisscross a little bit. You don't want them all the same height. Alright. I'm going to make some longer ones. And then put the little details on it like that. Alright, I hope you're understanding this watercolor lesson 1. There's so many things that it teaches. And it looks like the breeze is blowing. Alright, last thing I need to show you is how to paint a bird. Alright, I'm going to put a bird right here. So make a dot of black. Then go back to your dot and go to the right. Go back to the dot and go to the left. Alright, I'll do one more. Make a dot. Go to the right and go back to the dot and go to the left. That way they look natural. 2 or 3. I'll just do one more tiny one. Why tiny? So this one will look farther away. Things look smaller as they go back in the distance. All right, you're done. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and stay tuned for lesson 2 that will be coming soon. Thank you. I'm Dianne Mahaffee, and thank you, Hannah Miller, for helping with this video production.